we're going to talk about this trip we call the Maafa. This journey that we took unwillingly from Africa to America. And we're going to talk about the type of sexual, vicious crimes that happen to us as a people. And we're going to talk about why we went from a people who were man and woman oriented to the people who we are today. We know that things like rape took place and things of that nature, but a lot of times we really don't know the degree to which we've suffered as a race. Now I want you to look here just briefly. This is a slave ship. I don't know how many people here have ever had sardines. You ever open up a pack of sardines? You know they get the one sardine laid right, you got to peel them off? Yeah. Well, that's how they stuck us in the holes of slave ships. And we would lie next to one another, side by side. And these are the things that were happening to us, but more than just the journey that we were taking, in terms of, you see how it was, and once again, incidentally, it was the small hats who said, it doesn't matter if the ship is designed to hold 150 people. Right. Put 300 of them on there. Because even if you lose a large percentage, you'll still have more than you would have had at first. Yeah. So to just make the journey even more miserable. So I want you to imagine, brothers and sisters, being taken from your homeland, being taken from your family. I want you to imagine for a moment being thrown in ships where you have to defecate on yourself. You urinate on yourself. I want you to imagine, black man, being in a situation where you can hear your woman screaming for you for help. As 5 or 6 different Europeans take her, snatch her, and ravagely rape and abuse her. And you can hear them raping and abusing her. You can hear them doing it, but there's nothing that you can do. It's the beginning of the system of slavery and also the beginning of the effeminization, because as a man, your job is to protect your women and children. And when you can't do that, you feel like less than a man. That's the beginning of the process where you're forced while children are sitting there being raped. Little boys and little girls are being taken above board on a ship and brutalized. I want you to look, because this is what we went through. I want you to imagine being taken on a ship and watching with your own eyes, with your bleeding back, and in your miserable condition, somebody take your woman and do things to her that you never knew human beings or something that looked like human beings did. I want you to imagine hundreds of millions of African people, lives destroyed, being killed on the way to the slave ships. I want you to imagine on the slave ship dying, and when your dead body is laying there, they throw us overboard. And then they totally exploit our women in any type of sexual way they want. But not just our women. If they want their way, if they want to reach their highest and noblest aspirations, they can also do that with the males, the boys, or the grown males, or whoever they want their way with. And that's just the beginning of the journey. We haven't even really got home yet, but they would just throw us overboard. And the sharks actually took a different route because they knew when they smelled the slave ship what was coming. And when we got to America, we didn't know that they had these things called sex farms. And on these farms, a grown white males would come and they could purchase our women. So they would come and our women would be used like merchandise. And they could come up and fill our women where they had no sense of their bodies and no ability to protect themselves. And they would always get a black male who was effeminized. No longer does he see himself as the protector of the black woman. And he would go around and say, hey, look what I got. Almost like a mannequin. Look, you want this type? Look what she got available for you. Right. Oh, these are the kind of things she does. Oh, do you want this one? Oh, do you want this one? Yeah. These are the type of things they did to us when we had no control over our own bodies. No control over what we did. And a black man didn't exist in the way he existed at home where we protected our women and our children. No, we had to sit by on a day-to-day basis and watch them totally humiliate us. But not only did we watch them humiliate us, we had to participate in our own destruction and humiliation. So we began to covet these type of jobs where we could go around and show our women off. We began to take joy in doing them because we didn't feel that there was anything left. And so we were made into monsters. But you know, right now, the women, you know, the women is cool that he could come about women, but he likes things a little different. That's not really his taste. If it's going to be a female, he would prefer a little girl. We talked about his development in the caves and hills of Europe. So they had sections of the sex farm with just little girls between the ages of 8 and 18. Right. And they would dress the little girls in scantily dress clothing and make the little girls dance around and gyrate. And while they would tell them to shake their behinds, and they would always have the most well-dressed black male on the sex farm. He had his high hat and his suit. He was the best-dressed brother in the place. And he would stand there with the sisters and he would gyrate while these little girls would gyrate and show their bodies off for these grown white males to come and purchase them. That's right. And this is the kind of thing that we went. And I know we're so far removed from slavery that we can't really imagine no black man standing around gyrating, showing our sisters off, little girls and our women, as some type of sex objects for grown males, dressing our little girls up as if they're some type of sex meat market or what have you. Right. I know we're so far removed from the slave plantation that our minds can't fathom that, but I want you just to try to imagine being so effeminized that you don't see yourself as the protector of your women. Right. Instead, you see yourself as the salesman of the sexual experts for our women. Yeah. I want you to imagine being in a circumstance like that. Can you imagine, black man, standing before the world saying, here are our women. Look at her shake her thing. Yeah. Look at her show herself. She's really a sexual object. Do you want her? That's right. How much you want to pay for this one? Well, brothers and sisters, we got to be real careful. Because we don't watch